Christopher Edward Nolan, director, producer, and screenwriter. He was born on July 30th, 1970 in Westminster, London, United Kingdom. His uncle, John Nolan, and his aunt, Kim Hartman, were both actors. For this reason, since childhood, Christopher had more or less information about cinema and was interested in filmmaking. From the age of 7, he used to borrow his father's camera to make movies and made short films from his toys. Christopher was 11 years old when he seriously decided to become a filmmaker in the future. His younger brother, Jonathan, was interested in filmmaking and screenwriting just like him. They always brainstormed together about the movies they wanted to make since childhood. When Christopher was 26 years old and they were moving from Chicago to Los Angeles, the initial idea for Inception was formed and they discussed it together. But it took 10 years to write. Although they had great ideas, their budget was not enough to make the films they had in mind. So they had to work all week to cover the cost of renting cameras and filming equipment for the weekend. This movie was an important step for the successes of Christopher Nolan. The film, which was made with a budget of $6,000, managed to sell $126,000 at the box office. But, apart from ideas and money, he needs something more important to make his movies. Tea. Yes, tea. Christopher always takes his favorite tea with him everywhere and drinks it regularly, to the extent that tea is one of the symbols of his filmmaking, and everyone knows this well. Nolan gained widespread recognition with his 2000 psychological thriller, Memento. The film's unique narrative structure, told in reverse chronological order, captivated audiences and established Nolan as a master of innovative storytelling. Nolan is a master of practical effects. Unlike many filmmakers who rely heavily on CGI, Christopher Nolan prefers to use practical effects whenever possible. His commitment to authenticity and realism can be seen in movies like Inception and Dunkirk. He says, "I don't like wearing 3D glasses while watching a movie, and I want to see a bright and clear images." Nolan spends all his time and energy on making his films to the point where he never uses social networks or mobile phones so as not to lose his focus. In addition, he always has 2 types of clothes, summer and winter, and wears them during filming. Parallel editing and flashback are 2 of his most popular techniques. His wife has produced all his movies. Nolan is the only director whose 9 out of 11 movies are on the list of the top 250 movies of all time, according to IMDb users. Also, Nolan is the only director who regularly uses heavy and noisy, but very high-quality IMAX cameras. Oppenheimer was Nolan's lowest-budget movie in the last 2 decades, but it was a magnificent and successful due to his special filmmaking techniques. He pays a lot of attention to the details of the scene. Nolan loves his work. He studies and researches for a long time to write or create any scene and makes a lot of effort to create his works because he wants to present a valuable work to the audience. For example, Christoph Koch, a famous American neuroscientist, said in an interview about the movie Memento, "So far, no work has been able to introduce amnesia to its audience as real and true as Nolan's movie, which is surprising."
And the Oscar goes to Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer.